Liftoff and the clock has started.
Roger, 0G, and I feel fine.
Welcome back to episode 10 of Relationships Through the Looking Glass. Today we're going to be talking about a topic that is pretty important when you talk about relationships and building connections with others, and that's speaking life into your partner and what that means. And to join us in that conversation today, we have Big Smash with Bet the House Podcast and Darius with What the Beep Podcast, who's going to be giving us the male's perspective and what that means to males, but also what it looks like to receive that type of attention and affection within a relationship. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to hand over the mic to Big Smash to go ahead and introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
All right, it's Big Smash, Bet the House Podcast. We are a podcast that is for the culture. We discuss everything. We don't hold nothing back. We don't have a filter. You know, you're gonna laugh, you're gonna have fun, but you're also gonna get the realness. Speaking life into your partner it's important. It's important for any thriving relationship. There is no, if the person that you're dealing with doesn't believe in dealing with you, then it's really not gonna work.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. And next we're going to go ahead and say hi to Darius with What the Shizit Podcast. Darius, go ahead and tell us a little bit more about yourself, your podcast, and why you feel that speaking life into your partner is so important.
Well, What the Shit is a podcast where we don't care about nobody's feeling and nobody is safe, and we like to have fun, and we keep it clean. Well, no, we don't keep it clean. Let me stop lying to y'all. I ain't gonna lie to y'all like that. Pretty much nobody's safe. We talk about any and everybody, news, facts, topics, but it started out as a man cave, and then we've kind of evolved over the past year, going into our third season. Well, about to end our third season, to where we've expanded a little bit. Everybody's welcome, but if you're not inside our squares, you're not safe. I hate to say it like that, but we had a panel of women called with a show Queenish, which was our panel of Black women talking about real issues that affect women, dating, relationships, the whole thing. So we're trying to do more of that, collaborate with more people, and just have fun. But speaking life is important to me because I'm married, so having to do that, make sure we grow, is important. So if I believe in her and she believes in me and we're both watering our plants, then it only builds on what we're already trying to build. Because you can't build with somebody who doesn't believe in you. I mean, it just doesn't work.
Absolutely. And Keisha, why do you feel that speaking life into your partner is so important? And I kind of just want to see, from a female's perspective, because I have my reasonings, and I'll share after you go before we go into our talking points for this episode. But just overview, why do you feel it's so important? Kind of what we heard from Darius and Big Smash already, but as a female, why is it so important to you?
I believe because your partner is like one of your greatest fans. And when you don't get that encouragement or support from your partner, it kind of just like your goal or whatever you're working on, it kind of puts a damper in it. I was once heard in a, it was a convention many, many years ago. I actually was in high school, and the speaker was saying that someone can fill up your cup and dump it out in one sentence. And that's kind of like that. When you don't speak life into your partner, someone can say, hey, that sounds like something really, really cool, but you really think you can do that? But hey, if you going to do it, okay, I support you. And that's kind of like filling up your cup and dumping it out all in that one sentence. So that makes your partner kind of in limbo because they're looking for you to cheer them on. So I think it's very important to speak life in your partner, especially for those purposes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And for me, a lot of it goes to the fact that a lot of us are our own worst critic, right? I know for me personally, I'm always thinking I'm the worst at anything that I do. And maybe that's a mental health issue. But hey, it makes me who I am. I'm a perfectionist, and sometimes it's a situation of you need somebody in your corner saying, you know what, you can do that. You know what I'm saying? You know what, I hear what you're saying, but that's not what I see. And allows you to kind of see yourself or experience yourself in a different way. So I definitely think it's not only enhancing the relationship, but it enhances you as a person if you have someone who's beside you who can do this for you, you know, and let you know that just how you are. I love it. You know what I'm saying? I love you for who you are, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And sometimes it can get real ugly, right? So I definitely think it's something that needs to be at the foundation of any healthy relationship. And as we get started into the episode, the first question I'm going to ask, and I'm throwing this over to Big Smash first, is what does speaking life into your partner mean specifically to you? So when someone says, Big Smash, I don't know, I know people keep telling me I need to speak life into her or speak life into him, but what exactly does that mean? What would you say? What would you answer with?
That means speaking off experience. It means understanding. It means supporting to the fullest. It means no matter how crazy their dreams and goals might sound to most, to you, it sounds like the most beautiful song in the entire world. It means being there and understanding that life is not going to be easy. I say all of this because this is what I went through when I got married. When I got married, I realized that there was not going to be anyone there to hold our hand. This was a journey that we had to go through together. And it wasn't about big I's and little U's. It was about we's and us. There was a point that I wanted to quit. I wanted to quit with everything. I wanted to quit podcasting. I wanted to quit doing everything else that I was doing because I felt like everything was going so bad. Like people were turning their backs on me. I couldn't get the co-hosts and things and all of that. And when I met her, what really set me to know that this is the woman for me, she didn't know nothing about podcasting. She didn't know nothing about this world. But because she saw that it meant something to me, she was all for offering her support. She was willing to jump in a ring, in an arena that she knew nothing about, if it meant making me happy, making me at peace. And that is the push that sometimes a person going through it needs. He needs that push, or she needs that push to know that, hey, this is our fight. We're in this together. And she jumped in that ring with me, and I ain't looked back ever since. And I think, speaking life into someone is giving them the belief that when everything else crumbles down around you, it's you and that person. They're not going to forsake you. They're not going to leave you high and dry. They're going to be right there, good and bad, in and out. So speaking life makes you feel like you can fly, like anything is possible. There is no wrong answers. There is no wrong roads. You're going to get through all these paths together. That is my experience because I went through it. I went through not knowing, man, what am I going to do next? What is my next move? How am I going to bounce back if this fails? And when I got with her, it was, we're not going to fail. We're going to accomplish this. We're going to get everything that you're doing. And for those that listen, that know, that interact with me, I am so full of life because of that. Because I had someone that said, hey, I don't give a fuck who didn't believe in you. I believe in you. Let's get everything that we supposed to get, and let's keep going. So that's what speaking life. I speak off my trials and my tribulations because I went through it, so that's what it is. That's what it means to me.
My chest is so full right now. I had to take a moment. Like, I feel like I should be standing up and doing a full up applause for that. That was an amazing, not just a overview, but your own life experience and example of what it did for you in your life, in your relationship. And like, I had goosebumps while you were talking. So like, yeah. Darius?
I gotta follow that. Okay.
You gotta follow that, Darius. Hey, I'm gonna speak life though. You got this. You got this.
I used to watch George Lopez, and that was my favorite saying when he'd be like, "I got this." Yeah, that's what I say. That's my affirmation to myself.
Facts.
But for real, I feel like we kindred spirits, Big Brother Smash, because I kind of went through the same thing. When I started this, everybody was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do it. I'm with you." And when it came time to do it, nobody was around. But my wife, she became my cheerleader. I became hers. And I would stand on the table when because she wanted to quit her job and start her own product line, skincare and all that. At first I was nervous as hell, like, okay, but fuck it. You got it. You got this. I'm with you. You want to do it? Let's do it. So she stood on the table for me when I wanted to do this. And what's crazy is she let me be me. And that to me is the biggest speaking life into somebody that you can give. Letting somebody, because I can be wild and crazy and have the weirdest, craziest ideas. And she will stand behind me. She'll have a look on her face, but she's still behind me, believing that I can do it. And to me, that means so much because it's just like he said, it's just that person behind you in your corner, no matter what you're trying to do, and they believe in you, no matter how crazy and outlandish that idea might be, but they're still behind you. It means you can run through a brick wall. It means you can fight a shark. It means I can step in the ring with Mike Tyson and feel like I'm gonna knock the nigga out because she believes that I can. Whether I can or not, that's beyond the point. It's neither here nor there, but she believes that I can. So I have to believe that she can do whatever she want to do because I know she can, because we wouldn't be together if I didn't think she was who I think she was, and vice versa. So you have to know that when you're with somebody and you love them, you got to take the good and the bad of them and believe that they can be somebody better on the other side of whatever they're going through. I mean, there's been times where we didn't know what was going to happen money-wise, work-wise, but we still believed in each other enough to know that it might be bad in that moment, but we going to come through on the other side and be better for it. And she's been rocking with me. So I can't say it enough that I love the fact that she lets me be me. If you ever see my show, it is over the top. It is crazy, but letting her let me be me and I was supposed to start this podcast, whole different podcast from what I do now. And when it came time to do it, wasteland, the tumbleweed going by, nobody there, the one little guitar riff and the eagle scream, that's what it was.
Right. It's definitely a process. I understand. Absolutely.
And then I got with two guys who are my co-hosts, and they believed in me enough to be like, okay, this nigga's crazy, but fuck it, I'm down. Let's go with it. Let's run with it. If he say he can do it, I believe he can do it. And it's grown since then. My confidence has become so high because having people believe in me. And it's still people who don't believe in me, and I get it, you know what I mean? And I don't really care because at this point, I'm having fun. Being able to talk to people and speak my truths and, just meet dope people and create dope content, I have fun. And at this point, I don't really care about who don't like it. It's not about them. It's about the people who do believe in me, and that's why I do this.
Thanks.
Absolutely. And I'm just, it's so refreshing to hear Black men speak about their partners in this way. You know what I'm saying? Because the whole premise and point of this podcast is to talk about the unity that's needed within our community. And, and that's why every episode is a balance of male and female, so we can have that safe space to have these discussions. And to hear you two gentlemen speak so highly of your partners, it's so refreshing, because a lot of times we don't hear this or we don't get it, right? We get fingers pointed at us, you're to this, you're not this enough. And it tears tears us as Black females down. So to hear this, it's so refreshing. And I'm going to pass the mic to Keisha. You know, the same question. What does speaking life into your partner mean to you? If somebody came up to you and said, Keisha, give me some ideas on how to do this, what's your response?
I would say 5 ways. 5 ways to speak life into your partner. On top of encouraging them, that would be 1. Speaking words of praise, gratitude, speaking words of validation, speaking words of honor. And I think it's important while you're speaking life into your partner to also identify, hey, you know, you did your podcast, for an example, and you probably didn't have 100 listeners, but you had 5. Man, I am proud of you. Last week, you only had 1, and that was me. So I am proud of you. I think it's important, especially for the Black man, when it comes down to they mate as the Black woman, to validate them and continue to give them that support from beginning all the way through the end. Honor them. Oh, we're celebrating tonight. Honey, you had 50 listeners for your podcast. Or you know what? You just started, I don't know, this trucking company and you got your first contract. It may not be the biggest. It may not be that one you really want, but we're going to celebrate that. And I think it's important for the Black woman, or just a woman in general, when it comes down to speaking life into their male, to their man, to make sure that they are speaking that. Continue to praise, gratitude, you know, and at times when you're supporting your partner in their dreams, that do cut into your finances. And so just being able to say, you know what? I got that. Well, you know what, honey? Okay, well, you made this amount of money this week on that. All right, we're going to make this work. And, you know, I believe that it's power in the tongue, just like the Bible speaks on. And when we begin to speak positive, I'm tongue twisted, continue to speak positively, you will begin to act on what you're hearing, what you're saying out of your mouth, and what somebody else is speaking in your mouth too. I'm speaking out of their mouth into your ears. You'll begin to act on that. And I mean, you can even take that in regards to like a partner who may be sick, or someone who may be at the point of giving up in their illness, but you got a partner who's speaking life to them, and they're determined to fight and come back into, you know, in good health. So it's important.
Right. That's literal life too. That's like literal life.
So it's important to along the way, like I said, I repeat, speak words of praise, words of gratitude, words of validation, words of honor, and continue to encourage.
If I may, real quick, there's no greater feeling, you know, there's no greater feeling when you have someone that really, even if they don't fully understand your goals and dreams, there's no greater feeling than knowing that they're still going to support. So sometimes even that outside support seem real insignificant because you feel like you have all the support that you need. Yeah, of course you love the outside support, but outside support doesn't always happen. You know, it doesn't always happen. So to know that, hey, if you screw up, I got you. If you fall, I got you. We're going to do it together. And I'm telling y'all, she spoke real life into me, because I was at this point where I was like, I'm done. I don't even care. I don't want to do this shit no more. I spent all my money on this equipment and nothing was going right. And then we went back to back, me and her, and we just went through. And this is how Bet the House really took off, because of her. And that's all. Sometimes that's all that you really need, is somebody in your corner to say, hey, I believe in you. Fuck what everybody else think. I got you. And that builds up your confidence. You know, that makes you feel like you are invincible. And that's how I was feeling. That's how I'm feeling. And to piggyback off what Darius was saying, when you're having fun doing what you do, that makes it even better. You know, when you're having fun, like podcasts, and a lot of people be feeling like it's hard work, but when you're having fun doing it, it's like clockwork. It's just in and out, day in and day out, but you're having fun with it though.
Absolutely. And everybody has pretty much said everything that I could say. Only thing else I would say too, speaking life also trickles down to things of when somebody has challenges like anxiety issues, and when they're going through a panic attack, or when you can sense that something's off, if somebody has depression or something, kind of hinting on what Keisha said about literal life, just somebody your partner coming to you and talking you through it, or just knowing what it takes for you to get back into a calm state. That's another example. And to me, that speaks volumes. And I wanted to piggyback on something Big Smash said in relation to, it can be great to get all the high fives and the accolades and everything from outside sources, but it's that intimate space when you're with your partner, when there's no one else around, when you might be doubting yourself, when you might be questioning your decisions, where the voice that you hear other than your own is that person. It needs to be life, right? It needs to be, because those are the moments where you make decisions that can change the whole trajectory of your path. So depending on who you have beside you, it's huge. It's huge. It can make or break you, like literally. So it's definitely important. And I kind of want to go over onto the other side, though. What are some impacts on relationships when that does not occur? It's more specifically, say you have these examples that we just talked about, and I'm throwing this to you, Big Smash and Darius. So listen up, because I'm gonna hand the mic over really quick after I say it. What happens when you are the person who speaks life, but your partner is unable to receive it? Let's think on that. What happens when you are the person who speaks life? That is something that that it's important, but your partner is so either hurt, struggling, or in a space that they can't receive it. What are ways that you can work around that aspect to heal that relationship?
Word. It can be tough. 'Cause I know my wife, she does battle with anxiety and depression sometimes. So even if I'm trying my hardest, sometimes it feels like it doesn't get through. And I don't get frustrated, but sometimes it can be frustrating. It's like, okay, I'm trying to give you this love, and it feels like it's not being well received, but you can't give up. Like, you can't just be like, oh, well, forget it. She don't want it. I ain't giving it, and go about my day. You just got to keep going to know that it's not personal. It's not you. It's just something on the inside that you have to be there to help them through. I think that's one thing too many people give up on, is that the first sign of a little struggle, everybody wants to throw their hands up and be like, well, forget, I tried. That's it. And I'm gonna do my own thing. It's not that easy. That's not how it's supposed to be. Anything worth having is going to be hard work. I mean, every day ain't sunshine and rainbows, and people don't realize that, because and I had this conversation. We had this conversation on my show about fairy tale versus reality. A lot of people look at movies, Hallmark movies and all this, and it's supposed to be the whole fairy tale Hallmark. People think like Disney movies, and you fall in love and it's just happily ever after. No, it's not. Like, this shit ain't that. If it was that easy, everybody would do it. Dr. Dre wouldn't be losing $350 million a year. You know what I mean? It's not that simple, but people don't want to work sometimes. They don't, it's the little things. And I had to learn this myself, because I'm not Mr. Romance. I was born that a man works, he takes care of home and make sure everything's good. That I wouldn't say should be enough, but that's how I was raised. That's how you show your love sometimes, but there's more to it. And I've had to learn that, because everybody has different love languages. It's crazy me saying that, because I didn't know that. But everybody, my love language is just be here, just let me know you love me, and let me do me. But my wife says she wants to spend time. She wants to be around. Even if it's not doing nothing, just sitting on the couch, just sitting there. No words had to be said. It's just you there in that moment. And that is important to some people. So you got to know that. You got to know, one, how to speak to people, and two, how to receive what somebody's saying. Not be defensive, not take everything personally, not get caught in a moment to where you're like, oh, well, this ain't working, I'm out, forget it. So you're not always going to reach that person, but just let them know you're there when they need you. Give them space if they need it. You ain't got to leave the house. You go to one room, you go to another text. Like, hey, I love you. If you need me, I'm down here. It's simple, but it can be hard because people make it harder than it needs to be sometimes.
Yeah, and kind of hinting too of what you just said about not throwing in the towel at the first sign of chaos or stress, or the person's just not where they're at to receive what you have to say. That can be a challenge, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that a little bit later. But Big Smash, how about you, and how would you approach that situation where you could be speaking all the loves, all the life, everything into the person, but they're not receiving it for whatever reason? Either they can't, they don't know how. Some people who have self-esteem, who have been through a traumatic experience or abuse, who feel that the compliments you give them are fake. Like you're just saying that because you have to and stuff like that. How do you address those situations?
For better or for worse. That's what we agreed to. So with that, you have to take the good and the bad. I cannot just be here for you when everything is going good and ignore you when everything is going bad. What's funny is we just had this conversation this morning, and it felt like everything that she had worked so hard for was crumbling down on her. And my job is not to take over her world. My job is to add to it. We got married for us to add to each other. If we were strong, then we knew everything, then there was no need for us to get married because we knew everything. What do we need a partner for? You get married because you feel like this person is going to hold you down when you are weak and when you are strong. Your flaws, your imperfections, all of that plays a part in it. So she has a tough time because for so long it was just her. It was just her. It was her and our two twins. It was just her. I came along, and yes, it has been rough. By all means, it hasn't been perfect, but I had to reassure her that, hey, I'm not here to take over your world, and I have to let you know that I don't care about the world because my world is right here. You are my world, and if you are not happy, then I'm not happy. How can I sit here and help all these other podcasters and network and build and do all of this and swim to the biggest of shores and watch you drown? That does nothing for me. So if you drown, then I'm drowning. If you swimming, then I'm swimming. If we're reaching the highest peak, then we're reaching the highest peak. It is no you and me. No, it's us. And this is what I try to get her to understand, that, hey, I'm patient. It's you're patient with me. When I tell you everything that me and her have went through, it wasn't easy to get to the point where we signed up for better or for worse. And I tell her this all the time. It does not make her weak to get help. It does not make me weak to get help. Sometimes that's what a person needs. So even if she's not taking in the breath that I'm speaking into her, she understands that my actions are coming right behind that. So sometimes it isn't even just the words that you can speak life into someone. Sometimes it's the action. Sometimes it's the care. Sometimes it's, hey, if I told her this morning, I'm right here. Whatever you need me to do, if you need me to be a cheerleader, exactly. I got pom-poms on and I'm doing flips and off the balance beam. That's just what it is. If you need me to listen, if you need me to just sit here and just sit here, hey, this is what it is. This is what it's about. So like Darius said, it's not something to get impatient about. We have at at once 9 children running around in this house. So if that doesn't teach you patience, I don't know what does. So if you can be patient with that, you can definitely be patient with your partner. Some of us have old wounds that we have not fully healed from. I am a witness to that. She is a witness to that, but that's what makes us stronger, because we know everything that we went through. We know how to get through it because we done seen the worst of the worst. We done been down the bad roads and all of that. All of that speaks life in itself, and it's balance. You grow, you live, you learn, you understand, you push, you pull, you fight, you love, you want to run, you want to hurt, you want to do all of that, but you don't. You keep pushing. You keep pushing, you keep going. So yeah, just because you don't get the results that you want sometimes, it's okay. Keep going. Keep going. Spin the block. That's what I say. Spin the block. You bound to run into something if you keep trying. So that's what again, everything I'm speaking off experience. That's why this topic was so dope to me.
Well, I'm glad you're sharing it, because it's just giving me so much, just like I said, just to hear you two gentlemen speak on how you're speaking life into your partners. It's refreshing. And I'm pretty sure Keisha would agree, because I'm about to throw it to you, Keisha. What are some impacts to when you are the one speaking life into somebody and that person just can't receive it? Like Big Smash says, you just keep doing it. You just keep doing it. Darius is, having patience and just not giving up. What have you seen in your own experiences on how, when somebody's not able to receive it, what that looks like, and what would be a suggestion or the workaround for that?
I think it takes a toll on the person who's speaking life into that person and they're not receiving it. I think it's important to continue to do so.
I'm just going to quickly answer that question. Yeah. Yes, you're absolutely right. It takes a hell of a toll.
Yes. I think doing so in different ways so that you're not upsetting them or shoving it down their throats. Kind of like what God does with us. He sends us messages through strangers, people, whatever. So I think when it comes down to when your partner is not ready to receive it, we just have to kind of continue to do it in different ways, not just verbally, by just like a hug, by putting like cards, notes, different stuff around the house, or giving it to them, put it in certain places so that they are constantly hearing positive affirmations, different things to help them out and encourage them until they're ready to receive it. But the bottom line is, we can encourage a person as much as we want to, but if they're not ready to receive it and they're not ready to get that change, we can't make them. And that hurts sometimes as the opposite partner who really, 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 really see where, you can do this, and you're giving them all this encouragement. And when they're blocking it, I think that hurts the opposite partner. So, I think it's important to have that person in your corner to continue to push you, even when you don't even have the energy to continue to move forward, or continue to, your drive is down. I think it's important. But on the flip side of it, like I said, again, it's extremely hard for the opposite person. So you have to come up with strategies to continue to show that support and encouragement, even when they're not ready.
Right, because there has to be a tap out point. Like how much, and I know the two gentlemen are speaking from marriage standpoint, and that's a different level of commitment. But I want to talk even before we get to the marriage standpoint, because there's a limit where you're saying, you know what, I think I need to tap out now. Like I can pour and pour and pour and pour into you. But if you're a strainer, where you pour the spaghetti in, if you're a strainer and it's just straining right back out, sooner or later, I'm going to have a deficit. Right. I'm going to be depleted. So there has to be an awareness of where, okay, I can give. If this person is not able to receive it, or they take so much of it and not give you back in return, not pouring back into you. And we're not talking about marriage, because I'm about to throw it back to you two gentlemen. Before you even get to the marriage point, is there a space or a place where you say enough? Like, I can't keep pouring into you and not getting anything in return, or I can't keep speaking to you and you are not receiving it or speaking back into me. So, I guess if you guys can answer it from, if you've seen this in your own life with any friends or family, or have experienced it, again, not necessarily after being married, but before the marriage, is there a time and space where you say, I tap out?
Yes. Oh yeah. I mean, I've had friends, like I said, I've had friends who, when I started doing what I'm doing, they're supposed to be down. I'm one of them people, I can show you love, but if I'm not getting it back or getting the same type of energy, I'm not going to keep doing it. I'm not going to keep trying to work with somebody who isn't trying to work back with me. If you're not coming with the same, I think you're dope, I'm trying to do something with you, let's get it popping, I can't do it. I've had people who come with me with some energy that just didn't feel like they were sincere. It's the sincerity of it that makes me want to do it. And I had family members who had to cut off. I had friends who had to cut off because you wasn't bringing the same type of love and energy that it took to make me feel like it was real. And it's hard, but it wasn't that hard because, like I said, I don't care. You know what I mean? I've been called an asshole. But it is what it is. You have to be able to cut them people off, because if not, they will drain you. They will take everything you have mentally, financially, if you let them, and spiritually. And it's just, I can't do that because I have a lot of energy, but I also need all my energy because I do a lot. So to those people, it had to be a cutoff point. And that point is, you get 3 tries. I'll text you twice. You don't respond. I don't respond. You can text me a year later and say your house on fire, and I'm just going to leave you on red. You can call. I call you and you don't call me back. It is what it is. I'm not going to keep calling or texting. I'm not chasing somebody who don't want to be chased. I learned that a long time ago. My grandfather always taught me that you will always lose out chasing people who don't want to be caught.
Right. So you said you got the three strikes and you're out rule. 3 strikes and you're out.
Facts.
2.5.
2.5. You get a 2 count. You get a 2 count with me. If you text me in the morning, and I usually try to respond back, emails, Instagram messages, everything. I try to respond. And I know everybody's busy, so I can't be like, oh, well, they ain't text me back in a certain amount of time. But if I text you on Monday and they take you till Friday to text me back, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't. There's no point.
Right.
Put the phone down, choke yourself. That's how I feel about it. Why you doing this?
Choke yourself.
That's my new word.
I used to tell people that. I'm like, no, you about to go choke yourself. You think you about to get a text out of me after I didn't text you 3 days ago and it took you 3 days to respond? Choke yourself. Go ahead, choke yourself slow, die slow, and enjoy your life. Enjoy, love. I'm good. It's above me now.
Yeah, responsiveness is important to me too. But what about you, Big Smash, about that whole situation? Like, where is the stop?
All right, so mine's is a little different. I have 9 children altogether. Before I met her, I had 7. My second to last child's mother, we have 3 kids. After the first kid, that's when all the problems started happening. And it got to the point where I did not want to do it anymore. I didn't want to be there. She didn't want to be there. We were just basically here because we had a kid and there was really nothing else keeping us there. And it got to the point where I walked away, and only to turn right back around because we were having another kid. And then by the second kid, so we're sticking it out. We're trying to make it work. We're trying. Nothing's happening. By that time that it's time for me to realize that, again, this is not going to work, we have another kid. So eventually it got to the point, okay, look, every time I get ready to leave or walk away, another kid pops up. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to nip this in the bud. We're going to stop this. We went through this for 7 years. It hasn't accomplished anything. And I love my children. I love you, but there is no more humping. There is no more, because every time we seem to try to mask what's going on by humping, a baby comes out, and I'm cool. So this is when you eventually, this was really the only time in my life that I've really given up on something that I can remember. And to this day, like, there is no animosity with us. We raise our children. We cordial. Everything is everything. But sometimes in order to save something, you have to walk away from it. And that is when I realized that, hey, there is no life being spoken to this situation. You can't breathe life into a dead situation. And that's what it was. It was a dead situation, and it was only getting worse. I mean, you can keep bringing it back, but every time it came back, it was worse than the last reincarnation. So it was like, okay, if I keep bringing Jason back to life, he gonna keep trying to kill me. So eventually, I'm gonna have to leave Jason where he is. And that's what happened. I left it alone, and then I ended up being in the best space that I ever felt. You know, it's different. It's different. It feels totally different. Yeah, it feels totally different. It's a different feeling. It's a breath of fresh air. You feel good. You feel, you wish them the best. But at that point, you have to start. It's okay to be selfish in these situations. If you are not, anybody that's listening, if you are not happy in a situation, it is okay to step away for your happiness, because in the long run, it would be better for both parties. So yeah, of course, you think about giving up all the time. Like, I'm one of them people that I can't tell my kids I don't have it. It's not the nothing with them. It's more of with me, because I grew up without, but I never gave up. So I try to instill that into them, that, hey, even though you think I have a little money, I work hard for this. I'm not just going to give it to you. You have to work hard. You have to put the work in too. And that's what it's about in relationships. You have to put the work in. If you're not putting the work in, then why are you there? Why are we here? Why are we doing this? It's a waste of time.
So here's a question. And do you all feel that this is a skill that can be learned? Like, so if you have a situation where somebody grew up in a home where they were not spoken life into, they were not encouraged, they were belittled and talked down to, and now they get into a relationship where this, and all four of us agree that this is an important piece to the foundation of a relationship, but they never saw it, they never experienced it. Is this something that can be learned? And if so, how?
I think it's something that can be learned, and sometimes it can be learned by the leader. Maybe it takes the opposite partner who knows how to do it to show that person that love and show them how to do this by giving it to them and with hopes of them giving it back in return. So I think it can be learned.
Okay. And how about you, Darius? Do you think it's something that can be learned?
Yes, but you gotta want to learn it. It's again, I don't think it's hard. I mean, I'm an old dog. I learned how to do it. It takes, and I went through therapy. That's a lot of things Black people don't do. They don't, get rid of that old trauma. Like, you think you can handle it yourself, and sometimes you can't. I wasn't equipped to.
Facts.
And here's a crazy story. I never thought I would get married, and that's just being honest. Like, until I met my wife, and she made me want to get married, made me want to be better, made me want to change what I was doing because she believed in me. So when you have somebody believing in you and you don't want to change,
over here getting all misty-eyed. I'm sitting over here getting all teary, like my eyes are sweating right now. Like, I'm feeling.
My bad. I wasn't trying to, get the little violin playing.
Hey, the truth is
the
the truth, man.
This is beautiful. This is beautiful. It's like a whole love fest right now.
Facts.
But that's beautiful.
No, I'm not gonna say I'm not big on love. I tell my wife I love her every day. I tell my kids I love them every day. And that's not something I heard every day or something I heard a lot growing up as a kid. You know, I grew up in a single, my mom worked every day. You know, I was the oldest of three in the household with three more at a different household. You know what I'm saying? So I had to grow up at an early age. So when you grow up at an early age, you don't get those small things that other kids might get in a house to where you're not being big brother, you're not being a parent type of authority. So, you know what I mean? When you grow up in that environment to where you're working at an early age, your mom is working every day, you're trying to take care of the house, make sure everything's good. You know, you got bills in your name at the age of 6. It's crazy. You know, you don't know how to get that. So, and like he said, like my kids, they think I'm balling. They think daddy got it because I go to work every day. I get up at 3 every morning and I drink my coffee and I get ready for the day. And they believe that because I do that, I have it. And I don't want them to think I don't, because I don't want them to grow up like I did. You know, they're growing up better than I did. And to me, that is a badge of honor. And I wear it because when you don't have and you don't know what it is, and you see your kids happy every day, you know, it makes you feel good. It makes me realize that everything I do is for them. And I tell them all the time, like everything I meet, getting up, not wanting to go to work or dealing with the man's boot on my neck every day, and then coming home and editing videos and doing podcasts and all this stuff I do pretty much 24 hours a day. It's not for me. It's not for me, because not to make it sound like I don't care about myself, but it's not for me. It's not about me. It's about them, their happiness, their satisfaction.
And you're teaching by example. What Keisha said, you're also showing by example, not just, you know, all the tangible things that you're doing, but the intangible ones, and how they see you love their mother, how they see you love your wife.
To me, that's important.
And I tell people, yes,
because
yes.
I don't want my kids thinking that daddy don't love his mom, so I got to love my wife or my husband. I have a son and a daughter. I want them to see, and they'd be like, ew, get a room. Every room in this house is my room. Damn it. We do what we want in every one of these rooms, whether you like it or not, because we pay the bills here. So I'm going to love her wherever I want or what I got to do. You know what I mean? It's just.
And that's something different for me, because I'm. That's a whole nother podcast.
It's your podcast. It's your show. You do what you
no,
want.
I mean, that's a whole episode. That's an episode for a whole nother one, because I was brought up in a house that everything was really stoic. And, you know, anybody who's listened to my podcast knows I've been a military brat. I've grown up through the military. I was also in the military, and we just are not really expressive like that. So, yeah, that's definitely something, a podcast for another day. Yeah. How do you know when you're getting it right? How do you know when you're getting it right? When you're doing this, pouring into your partner right? How do you know when you're doing it right?
When it's time to go to bed.
Facts. How do you know when everything is, how do you know when you're getting it right? When the love is showing even more than what it did when you felt like you was getting it wrong. When you feel like even on the darkest of days, it's still the sun is still shining. Even when you feel like everything's going wrong, these doors are opening up and all these blessings are coming in. To me, that's how I knew. I knew that I was doing when I was getting it right, because we and I'm gonna give y'all okay, so look. This is how I knew it was right for me. And before I leave y'all, I'm gonna leave y'all with this. I did not have a one of them TV movie proposals, anything like that. I didn't have that. What I had was I brought this ring and we was just sitting there watching TV. The game was on. Basketball was on. Something was on. And we was just sitting there watching TV. I took the ring out and I threw it up behind my head. She caught it. She wasn't even looking at it, but she caught it. And I was just like, yo, we gonna do this. I want us to get married. I want us to be as one. And that is when I knew that I got it right, because any person would have been like, this is a little bit weird proposal, but it happened so quick and we already knew what it was. So this is how I knew that me personally get it right. You know that you're getting it right when that person believes in everything that you do. Everything. It doesn't matter whether you're right, whether you're wrong, whether you're in, whether you're out, whether you're down, whether you're up. They're going to believe in you because that's real, true, genuine love. And if it works for you, stick with it, stick it out. Don't give up. Don't quit. Put the work in and all the results will come. The rewards will come.
So Darius, what we've been talking about pouring life into your partner, how it looks from both ends, if you're able to receive and when you're not able to receive. We even talked about what it looks like when it's time to tap out, and that's just as important. But the final thing I want to talk about is, how does it look for a man versus a woman? And I'm gonna let Keisha do the woman part, obviously. But Darius, when somebody's pouring life into a man, because females and males see things differently, right? What are some things, what does it look like for a male? We want the intangible things and the tangible things that a female or anybody who's listening who's like, well, what are some ways I can show my male partner, how can I speak life into him? What would you suggest or what would you tell them?
I would say start with believing. Even if it ain't wholehearted, just start believing. I don't know about other guys. I'm low maintenance. It don't take a lot for me to feel like someone has my back. As we were doing this, my wife brought me down a drink. So that was, that was pouring life into me because, I had a long day. Little things like that. I mean, like I said, it don't take much. Like, people overcomplicate this thing we call life sometimes to where they just oversimplify it. I mean, it doesn't have to be this grand over the top thing. It doesn't always have to be that. I mean, those things are nice, but just start with the little things. Just believe in that person. Just let them know, like, hey, whatever you're doing, I'm with you. I believe in what you're doing and I got your back. However I can help you. I bounce ideas off my wife all the time. Sometimes she look at me crazy and be like, what the hell? But go with it anyway because you can pull it off. Whether I can or not, I don't know. But the fact that she believes in me makes me want to try to do it anyway. You just got to be there. Like I said, for me, I don't need somebody, goo-gobbing on me all the time and all over me. Just let me know you're there. Let me know you care. Let me know that, like I said, you believe in what I have going on and that even when times get hard, still be there. We had this conversation. Don't go to bed mad. You know what I mean? Like, I'm one of the people, if I know something wrong, I want to try to nip that in the bud right then and there. Sometimes that don't always work out for me because, you got to let it breathe sometimes. But 3 days is too long. You know what I mean? You got to be able to get past whatever it is and not let it linger. That dark cloud can stay over you for so long that it starts spilling over and over other things. And like I said, just let them be them. You know what I mean? Too many people try to control what's going on and keep tabs on every little thing that their partner is doing. And to me, that is not speaking life. That means you don't trust or believe what they can do if you have to constantly keep tabs on what they're doing. I like to be a free spirit. So my wife knows that. So if I come home from work, I say hello, I love you, give her a kiss on the forehead, see what was for dinner, and then I go decompress for the day. I leave, and when I go to work, if I don't kiss her on the forehead, I get a text like, "What the hell? Nigga, you was too good to say goodbye." And I'd be like, "Oh, my bad, I was rushing." She's like, "I don't give a fuck, nigga. You need to do what you need to do." So I try to make that a habit. Even if she's asleep, still do it. It's those little things that I'm learning over time that, like I said, everybody has a different love language. Everybody has a different way of receiving love. So you just got to be learn and try to get in tune and be on the same frequency so you know what's going on and how to do it. So she lets me decompress, and then I come up and do the family thing. Sometimes I take a little longer than usual, but at the end of the day, I always try to get back to them.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. And how about you, Keisha? What does pouring in and speaking life into your partner look like for a female?
Wow, it looks like just all of what he was just saying this now. That is just awesome. The pampering, to the acknowledgement, making sure that that person feels your love, know that not only is you're using your words to say that I encourage you, you can do this, but you're also showing it with your actions too. And I think that is so important. A lot of times people can say a whole lot of stuff, but if those actions don't follow up with it, it really means nothing. So I think that's important. And I just like to compliment you. I think that is awesome what you're doing with your wife.
I don't always do it. I don't do it for the recognition either. I do it because I have, not because I have to, because I want to.
Some of the main things, like for me, it's not about material things for me. It's all the things that you can't see. Like when I'm anxious, you know what to say to calm me down. Or when you are noticing a different change in my energy or my voice or my size, that you are already there to say what's going on, what's wrong. Or even if you don't want to talk about it, I'm just going to sit here next to you until you're ready to talk about it. And even if you're not, I'm still here. Like those for me, that's life. The prolonged eye stare. when she says, I'm fine, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Now, every side is different. You got to learn them different sides, brothers, because y'all be getting caught up in the sauce and don't know. Every side means something different. And I had to learn that. There's happy sides, there's sad sides, there's I can't deal with this shit sides. I mean, you got to learn these sides. Like I've picked up on like you feel somebody staring a hole in the side of your head, deal with it then.
I'm good.
If I be like, hey, what's wrong? She'd be like, nothing. I'd be like, no, what's really wrong? Because that I'm fine or nothing's wrong is a lie. That's a lie. It is I've learned that it's a lie.
I want to listen for the laugh too. Listen for the laugh. Oh, the laugh.
There's different laughs too. Y'all got to know this too, brothers. There's different laughs. If you give you that maniacal, medieval laugh, you better look out. Sleep with one eye open, put your feet under the covers, and duck down because it might be hell to pay if you did something wrong. And sometimes I just have to ask, like, did I do something wrong? If she upset, that's the first thing I ask. Okay, did I do something wrong? If she say no, then I move on to, okay, so what's really wrong? It might be something at school because she's in school. So she goes to school for beauty school to, for her brand, her products and stuff to learn more. So if something wrong at school, I ask that, okay, what's wrong at the house? What the kids do? Most likely it's probably the kids. So now I got to let her go. Hey, go upstairs, lay down, relax. I got this.
And that's pouring life, right? That right there is a example of speaking life. It's not physically speaking, but your actions are allowing her to rest in your safety. And that speaks volumes for any type of relationship. When a female can feel safe, it's amazing.
That's what it's really about.
Yes. And people don't understand that.
I've learned that. No, they don't. I didn't know that. I had to, like I said, I've learned a lot in this 6 years of marriage and 2 years of dating. You know what I mean? I've learned a lot in 8 years from my wife that I did not think about. Because when you wild running the streets, like I said, going to clubs Thursday through Saturday, you don't think about love and what it takes to keep somebody safe. Oh yeah, I was out here. I was
in them streets.
Bojangles out here. They knew us at the club so much we could walk in without even showing ID and stuff. We would walk past people. That's how much we was out here.
Ow.
But once I got past them, I know I don't like to brag about it. It's not nothing to brag about. It's really sad. But as you get older and you realize that wasn't life, that was just an escape from reality. that was just you doing young, dumb stuff. And I have a household to take care of. I have responsibilities. I can't shirk or duck these responsibilities as somebody calls me at 8 o'clock at night. Won't want nothing. Leave a voicemail. You got to learn these things. Like I had to learn that everybody needs a break. You know, my wife needs a break. Like even if I don't think she does, take over. Like I might be tired, she might be tired, but her being more tired is more important than me being tired because I know I can find my second wind. I know how much I can handle and I know how much she can handle. So when I see that it's becoming too much, I step in way before it becomes a problem. I didn't always used to do that. I used to wait till it was a problem and then try to fix it. You can't fix a problem once a problem becomes a problem. And you got to be a solution before all that. So you got to learn your person that you're with. You have to learn, like I said, learn them sides, learn what it takes for them to be upset so you don't get them there. You don't want to be the problem. Like I hate being a problem while my wife is upset because I know that makes me have a long night. And that sounds selfish, but it's just if I know that she's upset and I'm upset, nothing's gonna get done. We can't, you can't function in a house where everybody's upset. It just doesn't work.
It doesn't. And from all the examples you're saying, and from any males that are listening, like pay attention. It's not as complicated as it can be made out to be. But there is a challenge of, A, you're not used to it, you don't know how to do it, and you don't know how to receive it. So it's all a part of that personal growth, and you don't know how to address anything if you don't acknowledge it. So that's always the first step. You know, look at your previous relationships and see where things went wrong, and wherever there's an accountability area that you need to step into, do that, but know that pouring life into your partner, speaking life into your partner, that's a foundational piece to any healthy relationship. It seems like it's so much easier to point out the negatives, right? But we need to really focus on the positive stuff because that's what's going to pull you through when you hit a bump, because every relationship will have it. And I don't know if it was you or Big Smash that said sometimes you have to pause or stop to allow something to survive. Like you have to have an awareness of these things, right? Because at the end of the day, no one really wants to die alone. Like I don't care how introverted or whatever you are. At the end of the day, like you want somebody who's in your corner.
Definitely.
You know, and if you're somebody who's listening and you're like, screw that, I don't need nobody. I want you on the next episode because I think you lying.
I'm not gonna lie. I look at it like this: you can either be Future or you can be Russell Wilson. That's and I don't want to be Future. I'll tell you that much.
Well, look, I got my book. I've been scripting. I've been writing. But I don't necessarily want Russell, but
I mean, you got to be. I'm not saying you got to be in the middle. I know. I'm just. You know what I mean? Like, I think people like, oh, Russell Wilson corny for doing what he do. I mean, that's cool if you feel that way. No,
I love Russell. I don't like her. I love Russell. That's
yeah. And then some people idolize Future. It's like, okay, he's not the best person to role. He's not a role model. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying you should be looking at these people. Like I that's one thing I hate about like doing this stuff. I don't want to be a celebrity to where people be like, look at his life. We got to live like that. Please don't live like me. I live wild. I live crazy. I live by the seat of my pants. Like I don't plan nothing. I just do it. And it ain't for everybody. That ain't, you know what I'm saying? That don't work for everybody. Be you. You know what I mean? I tell people on my show how in my show is, if you're going to talk your shit the best way you can, because can't nobody talk your shit for you. You know what I mean? So you got to speak your own truth. You got to live your own lifestyle. You can't be trying to live how these celebrity lives. That's how you get caught up in the game. Like, you know what I mean? Everybody want to be Future, and then they out here with 10 kids and no money. You know, people like, oh, look at Nick Cannon. He out here Nick Cannon got millions of dollars, so he can take care of 42 kids. You can't, my brother.
Right, exactly. So yeah, definitely be you, because that's the only way you're going to attract the person who's supposed to be with you. Because if you're living a fake life, you're attracting people who are attracted to the facade you're putting out there. So when that crumbles, which it will, What you got left?
Here, and here's what this is what I bring it back to like a Queen-ish episode. The girl was like, I don't want to meet your representative. I want to meet you. Because a lot of times guys are known for this. We put on a front for a girl because we think that's what she wants. We see a girl out, we think she wants the big baller, and I got all these nice shoes and I got a nice car and I live this luxurious life, and she don't really give about none of that. She don't care about how much money you got in your pocket. She just wants
Are you emotionally healed? Are you emotionally available? That's what I want to know, right?
Are you intact as a person? You know what I mean? Are you a whole person, or are you the half person that you showing me? Because I'm not gonna tell you this, but you can't keep it up for long. You know what I mean? You might get away with it for 2-3 weeks, maybe a month, maybe a year, but after sooner or later, you are who you are. And that's gonna show sooner or later in one way or the other. So
it always does. Be you. And that's where we're gonna tie it up. Be you. And allow yourself to receive love and allow yourself to give love. And that's really kind of the takeaway from this whole episode. But Darius, go ahead and let the listeners know where they can find you, where they can connect with you, and what any projects you got going on.
So you can find me on Facebook at What the Stuff Podcast. Also Darius DC Chambers. Instagram, I'm Darius DC Chambers, all one word. Also What the Shit _podcast. TikTok, there's DC Chambers. YouTube, it is WTS/DC Plays. I play video games, so I do a lot. Well, I haven't done a lot there, but I'm going to be putting videos of past shows up there. I've been putting clips on Instagram. If you want to connect. I'm not a hard person to deal with. I'm not one of them people that be like, oh man, I ain't dealing with you unless you got this amount of people or this and that. I'm willing to work with any and everybody. I don't really care. I just want to, like I said, I enjoy doing it. It's just a passion. I enjoy meeting new people. I enjoy meeting different people, getting out my comfort zone. Sometimes you got to be uncomfortable to get where you want to be. So I've met a lot of dope people doing this, and I want to continue that. Collaborate, network, everything I can. So my inbox is always open. I try to respond, and I'm not hard to get along with. I actually like doing this, talking shit and having fun. That's what it's about.
Yep.
LinkedIn. I have LinkedIn. Darius DC Chambers. Twitter, which I don't hardly use. It's something. Just find
Darius me. Everywhere. Like literally just put them in Google search and you'll get them.
Yeah, I'm everywhere like Visa, but I'm nowhere like crack.
Oh God, yeah, we're so happy. We're ecstatic that you were on and were able to share your experiences because like I said, it was just it was touching to hear y'all's stories today. And Keisha, go ahead and let the listeners know where they can connect with you.
Well, you can connect with me on Instagram as well as with Facebook. I'm part of the podcast, of course. And I also have my own agency, Koya Services. So you can check us out. I am a licensed professional counselor. So you definitely can reach me on those platforms. I'm also on LinkedIn as well.
So last, but definitely not least, Big Smash. Go ahead and let the listeners know where they can connect with you, what you got going on, and what to look forward to.
Yeah. We are everywhere. Everywhere you listen to your podcast, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. We at Bet the House. Always betthehouse.com. Instagram is Bet the House Podcast 2021 or 2020. Either one it's me all day. Shout out to you, Michelle. Shout out to your other Miss Keisha. Shout out to you. What the shit, Darius? We had chopped it up yesterday about getting something done, so y'all can look out for that. And Michelle, Keisha, I love what y'all got going on. Y'all know I'm a big fan. I am a big supporter. Y'all, I just got to say this before I leave. You guys were number 45 on my top 50 podcast. Shout out to y'all for that. That was y'all. I do this little top 50 podcast thing to show love. So I just got in tune with you guys, and I was like, yo, it is a dope platform. I got to get on it, and we made it happen. So I appreciate y'all for having me. Thank y'all. Darius, I'll get back up with you. I'll catch you guys soon, man. Thank you for having me. Always Bet the House. I'm out.
Awesome. I'm so happy we had this episode. I'm hoping that it really connected with someone out there on ways they can improve their relationship and just look at different ways to speak life into your partner. At the end of the day, when you know, besides your own relationship with yourself, you want to make sure that the person who's the closest to you is the one that's the safest for you. So definitely useful information here, but definitely want to hear your feedback. If you have any feedback about anything that we discussed, want to go a little bit more into anything that branches off from the topic, let us know. Find us on Instagram. We're at the Looking Glass Podcast. Check out our playlist, because I'm the music one. So you can find that on Spotify and Apple Music, the Rabbit Hole playlist, and we always update it after every episode that we do. So again, thank you so much for spending your time with us, and we hope that we brought some value into your life and into your relationships, and we will look forward to working and talking and speaking with you on our...
Hey, I hope you enjoyed this episode. And remember, even though mental health concepts might have been discussed, we are not a replacement for professional help. And if anything triggered you in this episode, please reach out to your local professional mental health specialist to seek assistance. You can also find us in the webs at The Looking Glass Podcast on Instagram and also on our YouTube channel, The Looking Glass. Check out some of our inserts, check out some of our guests, and now links to other guest podcasts. Thanks for listening. Can't wait to talk to you again.